Hi everybody and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a weekly wrap up for you and I plan on filming 2 more videos after this. So hopefully I will have plenty of content coming your way. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is my weekly wrap up. So I finished 5 books this week, and part of that is why I'm going to be filming another video. Everybody always talks about how fast I read, so I'm going to be making a video with some tips about how I read so fast, because it really depends on a lot of different things about how I read so quickly. But I'm just going to get started and sharing these books because we don't want this video to be like 3 hours long. So the first book that I have to share with you is Dear Daughter by Elizabeth Little. I bought this book last week and decided to use this as part of my hashtag TBR takedown. And I used this book as my recently hauled book because I literally bought it during the readathon. This book is a book that I've been wanting to read forever. I mentioned it in my haul that I wanted to read it really badly until I saw Amanda from Amanda and PA give it 1 star, and I was scared for life from it. But when I found it for $1, I was like, now's my chance to really try it and see if I like it. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I liked the storyline. It follows this girl. She's been in jail for the past 10 years because she has been accused of murdering her mother. And she gets released on a technicality of something happening with the evidence, that it was kind of tampered with, possibly. So she gets released, and there's people that are still convinced she murdered her mom, but she's convinced that she didn't do it. But then she's not sure. Maybe I did do it, because she kind of has not amnesia, but she kind of does not remember what happened that night. So she's not sure, did I do it or did I not do it? So she travels to this place where she believes her mother grew up, trying to figure out why her mother was murdered and maybe who murdered her. I thought it was interesting. I thought there were so many characters, which got a little overwhelming. Even at the end, when it was finally the who did it, you could have took a arrow and just spun it, and whoever it landed on, that's who did it, because there was just so many people. I did in between each chapter you kind of got little text messages or emails or this blog of this guy who's still convinced she did it, and I just thought those were kind of really nice little breaks between chapters, because sometimes the chapters did kind of drag and they just kind of were boring, and this kind of re-got you in the mood to keep reading. So I thought it was decent. I gave it 3 stars. So it was alright. It wasn't the best thing ever, but I'm glad I finally just decided to try it on my own. And then to finish that up with the hashtag TBR readathon, the last challenge that I had to complete was read a book that's been on your shelf for at least a year. I was originally going to read a Nicholas Sparks book that I know that I've had for a while, but then I remembered there's this book that has been on my shelf for 2 years, over 2 years, and for some reason I've always been so scared to read it, which makes no sense. When you see what it is, you're going to be like, why were you scared to read that? But I was for some reason, I was you know what? It's finally time, and if I don't read it now, it needs to go. So I finally read The Love of Her Life by Harriet Evans, and this book has been on my shelf for over 2 years. I spent 50 cents on this book, and it took me over 2 years to finally get to it. And I did. It follows this girl. She she lived in London with her dad, and then she ran away to New York, and we're not sure why. It just keeps saying that something bad happened, that she ran to New York. Now she finds out that her dad is sick, so she has to confront her fear and go back to England. Before she left England, she was engaged. She had a really great job, and so for her to leave that, it had to be something pretty tragic. And I thought that this book was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. I feel contemporaries that are over 400 pages need another little extra oomph in them. This didn't really give the punch that it needed to get through the 400 pages, the over 400 pages. I thought it was still decent and good. It reminded me a lot of Sophie Kinsella, so if you like Sophie Kinsella, I think you'll like this book. So I'm glad that I finally, again, gave this a chance. It's been sitting on my shelf for 2 years. I can finally say I read it, And maybe I might pick something else by her up eventually. I don't know. We'll see. And then after that, I decided to pick up Last Sacrifice by Richelle Mead. So now I have reread 3 books this month, which makes up for the fact that I only reread 1 book last month. So I am on track with my goal of reading at least 2 books, rereading 2 books a month. So it's now averaged out to that. I'm actually doing it, so I'm so proud of myself. And I was able to finish a really great series that I totally forgot how things go down, and I was so excited to reread this. And yeah, I did it. 5 stars, because obviously I wouldn't reread it if I didn't love it. So I'm so excited. I don't know what I want to reread next. I'm debating jumping into Bloodlines or if I want to reread something else instead. So we'll see. And then the next book that I read was The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I had finished this up during the day, and I ended up being home for a little bit at night, so I decided that I was going to start this. And it captivated me a lot easier than I was expecting it to. I was expecting this to take me a really long time to read, and it kind of didn't. I got through 178 pages without even realizing like that time had gone by. I thought it was really good. I had been avoiding reviews. I'd been avoiding synopsises. This follows a girl who lives in Connecticut, so that's always exciting. Her dad is a politician, and he just recently kind of came under scandal. She only lives with him. Her mother has passed away, so it's kind of about her summer with him kind of being more around than he used to be. Obviously, there's a love story going on in here. I thought it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. It was another one of those things where contemporary is 520 pages. You need to give me something more. I thought it was really good. Like, it flowed really nicely. I just wish that there was more. Not more pages, but, like, more. But I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars, so definitely recommend Morgan Matson. And then this book, it was another one that like just sucked me in. I started it last night and then I finished it really quickly this morning. And that was Pretty Baby by Mary Kubica. She is also the author who wrote The Good Girl, which I loved. I gave that book 4 stars, and I gave this book 4 stars. This book, I went into it blindly. I had read the synopsis like way long ago, but I totally forgot what it was about. So I went into it pretty blindly. I refused to let myself read the back. It follows a couple. It follows 3 perspectives. 2 are the couple, and then 1 is this other girl. This couple, they are going on with their daily lives, trying to figure out their marriage, whatnot, their child, and one day the wife kind of takes in this homeless girl. She kind of has this infatuation. She sees this homeless girl with a baby, and she wants to know her story, wants to take care of her, and obviously that's not always the smartest choice. So kind of figuring out what's going on with his family, what's going on with her backstory. So it follows the wife, the husband, and the homeless girl. And obviously things get revealed as things go on. Mary Kubica has a way of writing that even if intense things aren't happening, you just want to know what's going to happen, and you keep reading. I read 200 pages without blinking last night. Like, out of nowhere, it was like, oh, 200 pages. What happened? So she's definitely got a way of writing that just makes you want to read it. This book, though, I couldn't give it the 5th star, was it just lacked in events until the very end once things got revealed, because as the book was going, it just kind of was going. It was going. But nothing really crazy was happening. So it didn't really kick in until the very end, but it was still really enjoyable, if that makes sense. Like, you weren't, like, dull, like, hey, what's gonna happen? Come on. Like, you still were engaged. It just wasn't as engaging as you would hope it would be. So I still really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I will still continue to pick up books by her. So, yeah. So those are all the books that I read this week. Let me know what you thought of any of those books.